It's a sad, sad day when a father and daughter have such a big public falling out, especially two who are so closely linked as Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley Cyrus. But that's the world we live in right now, as the two are clearly feuding. Why did this come about? Is Noah Cyrus' emotional, personal new song about her family related to this somehow? We'll be letting you in on all of the details as the video progresses, so be sure to stick around till the end. Let's get started. Say it ain't so. Have the two of them really cut ties with one another? Indeed, it's being reported, and the signs are certainly there. It's really unfortunate for the family and for those who have followed them. Of course, talking about how the fans react is a little trite compared to an actual divided family, but we'd be remiss not to highlight how much it stings to see this happen for those who grew up with the show Hannah Montana, which starred Miley and featured Billy Ray making the occasional appearance as well, playing her father in the show, just as in real life. This show is what introduced many to Miley Cyrus, and many have fond memories of the show, which ran for 4 seasons and nearly 100 episodes, let alone those who have continued to follow both of them in their careers as musicians. It seemed like such a cool thing that Miley had followed in her father's footsteps, while by the same token forging an entirely unique career all her own. Alas, the two are not as close as we'd like to have imagined, at least not anymore. One of the big warning signs here came this past December, when Billy Ray was noticeably absent from the family Christmas photo. The whole family seemed to be present and accounted for at the gathering, except Billy Ray. Many fans asked where he was on the Instagram post, but Miley gave no answers. This would have seemed to suggest that not only had he fallen out with Miley, but he might not be on great terms with the rest of the family either, to the point where he'd be missing out on Christmas, a very sad turn of events. What's more, a source has come out speaking about the conflict between the two of them, and in the most concrete bit of evidence yet, the two have even gone so far as to unfollow each other on Instagram. Okay, that probably sounds really melodramatic, but do you realize how big networking is to these celebrity types? And to hit that unfollow button, knowing the public will immediately realize it and make a fuss, it's an active acknowledgement that the drama is worth it for the chance to hear from the other party and see their face just that little bit less. Oh, it's a chilly situation indeed. Well, why did this happen? What's come between Miley and her father? The main thing here regards the divorce between Billy Ray Cyrus and his wife of 30 years, the mother of his children, and also Miley's manager, Tish Cyrus. Tish filed for divorce in April of 2022, and as if going for some sort of world record, this was actually the third time one of them had done so in the history of their marriage. Billy first filed divorce papers as far back as October of 2010, but that was dropped by March of the next year. Then in June of 2013, Tish filed for divorce, but they instead went to couples therapy and rekindled their relationship just a month later. Both times they cited irreconcilable differences, and obviously they reconciled their differences in the end. But this time feels very different. Not only have they gone 5 months with neither budging, but in the divorce papers it was noted that the two of them hadn't lived together since February of 2020. In other words, they hadn't really spent much time together pre-COVID lockdowns, and man, that makes it sound like forever ago, doesn't it? Miley is said to have not agreed with things her father has said regarding his marriage to Tish, and has been a big part of their falling out. The source told The Sun that said words had been exchanged between the two over what happened towards the end of Billy and Tish's marriage, but it's clear that the two of them see things very differently. They note that the family is hopeful that things will blow over soon and they'll be able to make up, but at the moment, both parties are upset and neither are eager to make amends without an apology. But in many ways, this has been building for a while. Billy Ray Cyrus has believed for a long time that the show Hannah Montana, for all the success it brought, also did a lot of damage to their family long term. He stated in 2011, not long after the show wrapped up, quote, "It destroyed my family. I'll tell you right now, the damn show destroyed my family," end quote. But hold on a minute, did the show really have such a negative effect on their family? It'd be facetious to say the show did nothing but harm to Miley and her family, even if her father is negative on it, and even Miley has a lot of sour, if mixed feelings on it herself. From Billy Ray's point of view, the show was to blame for much of Miley's controversies in the years to follow, as she became a very edgy and provocative figure in the public eye for a time. This was seemingly a combination of fame and success going to her head, as it would with many teens, combined with the urge to rebel against the wholesome image that she'd been painted with. Indeed, Miley also seemed to resent the show by the end, feeling that she had grown out of it and felt uncomfortable performing in the colorful outfits. As well, she felt a need to distance herself from her past cutesy music in order to rebrand herself as a mature artist. As well, she spoke of how she felt people saw her as more of a Disney mascot than a person. Whether she likes it or not, though, Hannah Montana is what introduced her to the world and did a heck of a lot to make her famous, and from there she had the power to spin off into the woman she is now. Without it, it's hard to say how her career would have panned out. It was a huge launch pad, and it seems that now that she's had an extended time away from the character, she's grown to appreciate that a lot more. She said in 2019 that she was proud of her work on the show, even with all the baggage. And in 2020, she told Bang Showbiz that she'd actually like to resurrect the character, noting that she tries the blonde wig on all the time and thinks the opportunity will present itself to bust it out again. She's also spoken about even doing a whole series with Hannah again in the future, hopefully with herself in the director's chair. She does speak of this as though it might be a far-off thing, but hey, that nostalgia cycle is going to wrap around to her eventually, so it's nice to know she'll be ready for it. Given her progressive affection for the character, it's hard to believe that the show damaged the family as much as Billy Ray believed. What else is going on with the Cyrus family right now? Miley's sister, Noah Cyrus, has released a single titled Every Beginning Ends off her upcoming debut album, The Hardest Part. Noah teamed up with Death Cab for Cuties' Benjamin Gibbard, who Noah admired for inspiring her older sister Brandy, and the two of them produced the song in his Seattle recording studio. It's a deeply personal song, and let's just say there's a very good reason that we included it in this video. You see, the song happens to be inspired by the end of the marriage of Billy Ray and Tish Cyrus. In talking about the song on Instagram, Noah wrote, quote, "This one is about the dying flame in a relationship where neither person is to blame, just inevitable drifting apart over time," end quote. And it may not really have to be said, but she explained that Ben and her wrote it from personal experience in witnessing it happen up close and personal in their lives. She said that in some ways, it was the very saddest kind of ending. She went on to explain the saying that Ben had told her, passing down something his dad had told him when he was young. It goes, "You have to wake up and choose to love someone every day." According to Noah, this sparked a conversational song about the twilight of a relationship and the reluctance to admit that something has run its course. Man, does that hit deep right about now. But that is all the time we have for today's video. Are you sad? Nay, as heartbroken as the rest of us are about this situation? Do you believe the show Hannah Montana really had such a profoundly negative effect on the family as to still be causing them problems even 11 years after its conclusion? Do you believe that the Cyrus family can still patch things up in due time? By all means, be sure to let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching.